What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 30 Minutes of Hell. I am your host, Brandon Baker, joined today by Matt Jackson. We'll get Joey back soon, but we've got some Razorback hoops to talk about. Unfortunately, Arkansas suffered their second loss of the season, this time to the Duke Blue Devils. Both of their losses have been to number 4 and number 7 currently in the AP poll. So while losses always suck, as far as they go, they're I don't know. Good loss is a terrible term, but hurtful losses, I guess, so
Yeah.
far. But Arkansas does still have ample opportunity to improve their tournament resume, to get battle tested, to win some of these big games. I mean, the SEC is always loaded with top 25 teams with really good squads. But up first, we have Louisville coming to Bud Walton Arena Wednesday night. We're going to get into our thoughts on that, full preview as well. First, real quick, let's start with some thoughts from the Duke game. I don't know if you'll find a Razorback fan out there that's more hurt and devastated than Matt after a Razorback game. So
Yeah.
open up the floor to a safe space. I know it was a fun game to watch. Arkansas played really well. There was a lot of good things. It was a single digit loss. You can say all this stuff. It was still a loss. It still sucked, especially the way that they lost it. But I'll open up
Yeah.
your thoughts.
So first off, I am incredibly proud of the Razorbacks. I think that has to be said. I think we fought harder than we probably expected to. And huge shout out to Trevon Brazil because I feel like even though the guy had 35 points, I feel like when Brazil was on the court, Cameron Boozer did not have an answer to Brazil. I think his defense
For
was
the first half, for
phenomenal,
sure. In the second half, Cam Boozer got going, and
but
nobody had an answer to him.
he wasn't really on him.
Yeah.
Like a lot, I feel like there was a lot of switching going on, and he wasn't the prime defender when Brazil was on Boozer. I felt like Boozer just didn't he couldn't do as much as he typically did. And just big shout out to him because he did great. I want those striped shirt losers to get off of the court. I don't want to see them again ever because that made me mad. There were so many bad. I'm not going to get into that, but overall, I feel like it was a good game. I feel like we could have won that game. We definitely could have won that game. That just gives
Yeah.
me more confidence in knowing how good of our team is and how much better we should get by the end of the season. And if we meet them in March, we'll be a different team.
Yeah, I mean, moral victories only go so far, right? Like people hate when we're like, "Oh, but look how good they were," and all this stuff. Like, I get all that. The ball doesn't always bounce your way in basketball, in any sport, but especially, I mean, you got 30 games in a season. You're not gonna win them all.
Right.
When you put yourself in a position to win against teams like this, it is a good thing. It has not bounced our way yet, but the 3-point loss on the road to Michigan State, that's looking like a very like we're the team that has played them the best so far of anyone that they've faced. This loss to Duke, I mean, Arkansas had the lead late in the game, and that's partly why this loss was so frustrating because they did have a good chance to win. They had the lead well into the second half. And that hurts, and that's something that they have to learn from, right? Like we can sit here and say, it's encouraging to see the way we're playing. We gave ourselves a chance to win, but none of it matters if you don't win a few eventually.
Yeah.
But I agree that the things that we've been seeing, when you put yourself in that position to win, I think that the cards will fall your way at some point.
Yeah.
And I think that they will win some of these big games. It didn't happen for them in
I
this one.
mean, we were the first team to show that Duke's vulnerable. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, all season they've looked like a very cohesive unit. I've been very open about. I think Duke is the best team in the country.
yeah.
You have arguments for probably like 6 teams right now, but Cam Boozer is the best player in the country, and he did what he wanted in the second half. I mean, he drew 7 fouls. I don't like the way he's able to use his offhand to create space, to create some hooks. It's a different
Hmm.
story, but I mean, he did everything that he could do to power Duke to that win because Arkansas, I mean, for the most part, shut down everyone else on the team. Like they
Yeah.
have a lot of really good shooters, a lot of really good players that did not do much in this game.
And I don't know like what the stats were with Duke in the previous games, but I feel like forcing 12 turnovers from this team is really good. Um, because I feel like like you said, they have looked like a very cohesive unit and seeing them really struggle with how fast that we play, it was nice to see. And yes, once again, moral victories here, but the team played great. The team played, I mean, another shout out to Ewan. I feel like Ewan played very well. And we have said he needs to be playing at a very high level.
Yeah.
And,
Before you move on from it, 12 turnovers is season high for Duke. They've hit it one other time
yep,
against Indiana State. Looked like just a sloppy game from them, but have not come close, really.
yeah. So there you go, showing vulnerabilities in the best teams in the nation. So just got to get some. And tomorrow we need to get that.
Yeah. I agree completely. There's a lot of guys played pretty well in this game. Acuff shot the ball very well, over or right around 50%, had the 21 points, 5 assists, only one turnover. That's big time in a game like this where he's getting hounded by elite athletes, right? Like Duke is huge. Their guards are tall. They had a lot of length. They were really good defensively. I mean, they tick a lot of boxes, and Arkansas played well. I mean, Malik Thomas did kind of what we think that he may do sometimes. He shot not great from the field, but I don't think he killed us by any means. He was still 30% from three, which is below where you want him. But in a game like this, that doesn't kill you. You can win with that. Not a whole lot really stood out. I just feel like we need more from some of the other guys when we're only going to play like 7 players most of the time, 8 players. You need more from Carter Knox.
Way
You need
more.
at least something from DJ Wagner and Pringle and you, and they the three of them combined for like 12, 13 points. So like that's not enough to win these big games like this, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know what's going on with Carter Knox. It's like we get something from him and then we get nothing from him. And I think I sent a message saying, give Billy Richmond his minutes right now because he was just playing his butt off. And Billy is just one of those guys where things may not be going his way. I mean, shoot, he had 5 turnovers, which weren't very good, but he played his butt off and made such a big impact that I wanted him to play, and why can't we get that from Knox? Because I feel like if he's aggressive, he makes way more of an impact, you know?
Yeah, and I mean Billy. We talk about him all the time. It's the roller coaster. It's what you get with Billy, with the great plays and then the bonehead plays. And I know that I always say that this isn't a perfect stat. You have to take it with other context. But there was one player on the Arkansas roster that had a positive plus minus in this game, and it was Billy Richmond. And again, there's more context to that. Obviously, he had 5 turnovers, but he shot really well from the field. He hit both of his free throw attempts. He had 5 rebounds, second on the team, only to Brazil, who had his another double double. I mean, Billy does a lot of things well and right, and I agree with you that when Carter is not giving us the scoring output, the things that we need from Carter Knox, it's hard not to go to Billy. Carter gives you a little more size, a little more defense. I think most of the time, I'm sorry, I should say interior defense, just because he's so strong. Billy obviously is a little quicker, a little better, maybe on the perimeter, but it's hard not to go to Billy when Carter's not being the Carter we need him to be.
Yeah. And with how Cal has kind of gotten you into play a little bit better, and I even liked how was it this week has flown by. But was it against Duke where Cal was on an interview and he said, like they were talking about Brazil, and he's like, well, let's talk about how good
Malik
Malik
Ewan played,
Ewan's
yeah,
doing. Yeah, was that against Duke?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
okay, I thought so. So he says that, and I love how he can motivate players, and as always a player's coach, he needs to do that to Carter Knox right now. And he shouldn't have to because Carter is now, a veteran in college. He should be able to get out of that hole that he's dug himself in. And I know you can tell he's frustrated. He goes to the
Yeah.
bench and he's angry. And he's just, I don't know, he has to calm down and just get back into the flow because he's a good player and he shows that in certain games. It's
I
just,
think Carter gets excited sometimes because you can see
yeah.
him like rush a shot, or there's been a couple times in the last like 3 or 4 games where he'll get a fast break opportunity and just throw like a terrible pass. Like he thinks something's developing, but he's way too far ahead of it, or just like something like that happens where he just gets ahead of his own feet. But I mean, we want him to be aggressive, but he's been around long enough that he should be able to let the game come to him by now, and take what the defense is giving, play within the team, within the offense. But I mean, in this game, we played what, 8 guys, and Carter Knox was seventh in field goal attempts. Like that should never happen.
Right.
I mean, I don't want him just jacking up shots just to throw up shots, but I mean, he played 22 minutes. You play 20 minutes of Carter Knox, he needs to probably be top 4 on the team minimum, I would say, in shot attempts. It's always going to be Acuff and Thomas 1 and 2, probably Brazil at 3, but I'm okay with Knox taking as many shots as Brazil takes because I think he's talented enough. Well, you got to get in the rhythm and play within the offense.
Yeah. And I don't know if it plays a role of, he put his name into the draft last year to kind of get some critiques and everything. Is he so focused on that and making sure that scouts are seeing him that it's in his head? Yep.
He's thinking too much. Yeah.
And so if he just lets the game come to him, then I feel like we could see exactly what we're seeing from Brazil right now. And
Right.
Brazil's just playing basketball. That's what he's doing, and he's playing it well, very well.
Mhm.
And that's what we need from Cardinal Knox. And we've said it all year. We're only as good as the entire team. The entire team has to be at their peak for us to be true contenders.
Yeah. You
And
you don't
we were
not
close.
everybody has to be on fire, but you can't have bad games from anyone when your
Yeah,
rotation is this short.
right. And we were close. We were close to this one. And it's just if one more player gave that much
Yeah.
more, we would have that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Carter scores the 8 points that he's usually good for,
Mhm.
if Malik Thomas doesn't go 30% from three, there were enough small things, and the game honestly was closer than what it even looks like. Like I feel like
Yeah.
9 points, it got a little bit out of hand at the end when we kind of went into desperation mode,
And
and
we
it was
fouled a few times. Yeah.
right. Like
Just
we
to,
were we were up for a lot of the second half. We were close all the way down to the last couple of minutes. Like, yeah, they definitely had a shot. It is encouraging. It is frustrating the manner in which they gave up the lead and lost, but it is. I mean, I've been saying it. They're one of, if not the top team in basketball right now.
yeah.
So positives. I think that they're still showing that they are a capable team. I think that they're still showing that they have a very high ceiling. They haven't hit it yet. Not for a whole game, anyways. We see flashes of it, but they got to continue to improve. I think we've already seen that it's taking this team a little bit longer to come together and reach that point of how good we think they can be. It's taking a little longer than maybe we hoped or expected, but I still think they can get there. Um, they've got a lot of tests coming up to be able to do so. Um, so speaking of that, let's jump right into the next test. Wednesday night, Bud Walton Arena, 6 o'clock. Please, please go if you are able to. I think our man Matt is going to be in attendance for the first time this
I
year.
am.
I'm
I
excited.
am.
I'm excited.
I'm
I'll
driving
also
from
be there.
Conway. You guys have no excuse if you're in Fayetteville. You better show up. I mean, for a team like Louisville to be in Bud Walton and tickets being relatively cheap, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
get a
There's tons of
seat.
tickets for sale for like $50 or less. Like that's
Yeah,
not bad for a top 6 team.
yeah, get a seat and call the Hogs because I want it to be insane. It's going to be my wife's very first experience at Bud Walton Arena, so
And
it's
she
going to
is a
be big.
Texas fan, so we have to show out Razorbacks.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, jumping into a little bit of the scouting report for Louisville. They have a trio of elite guards, and because of this, they like to play very fast. They look for a lot of threes. A lot of their shots come in transition. They've got good ball handlers, an elite freshman that runs the court well on fast break opportunities. But these three, I mean, they've got 2 guys that are taking over 8 3-point attempts per game and both shooting over 40%. Like they live by it. They're a top 5 scoring team in the country so far. They've hit 100 points in 4 out of their 7 games. A lot of those coming against nobodies, but they beat Kentucky. They beat Cincinnati on a neutral court. They've played someone, right? Like they've played 2 teams that are in the top 100 or so rankings
Mhm.
and handled both of them. So I mean, this team is legit. Ryan Conwell, senior, averaging 20 points per game right now. He's leading them with almost 9 3-point attempts per game and hitting 45%. they've got a lot of other good players, but if you don't slow down this man and don't let him hit 50% of his 9 3-point attempts, then there's no point in really going any further. Like, I think that this starts with the top of the scouting report for Arkansas. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like, I think DJ Wagner, I think Billy Richmond could both be good matchups for this. Just someone that can get after him and hound him, someone that we don't even really need to do a lot offensively because he's going to be moving, he's going to have the ball, he's going to be looking for shots. You've got to locate him early and not let him get hot because letting a team come into Bud Walton and get confidence is the most dangerous thing. And he's the top of the chain of the guys that can do it for the Cardinals.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app. You sign up using bonus code FIELD. You deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
Their next guy up, Michael Brown Jr., elite freshman. He's 6'5", 6'6"-ish. He's like a long, lanky, almost like the prototype that you're seeing coming into the NBA now with like the Cade Cunningham and Tyrese Halliburton. Not quite as tall or as good as those guys perhaps, but 17-6, shooting pretty well from three. This is going to be a fun matchup between Brown and our freshman, between Thomas and Acuff. I would not be surprised to see Thomas match up with Brown quite often. But he's the guy I think can be dangerous, like in transition. If you let him get out, get a rebound, get an outlet pass, he can hurt you fast, right? Like he gets out, he leads this team in assists, and he plays in chaos very well. I think that's going to be a fun matchup. He's going to be a fun player to watch. I'm excited to get to see him because I think he will be a high NBA draft pick in the coming draft. But his matchup with our freshman, I think, is going to be a fun one to watch.
Yep. Yep.
And then the last of the trio, the guards, Isaac McNeely, 6'4". He's been in Virginia for 3 years, a pretty good, just steady sharpshooter. Also taking 8 threes a game, 43%, double-digit scoring. I mean, the first two guys, right, like they're the dangerous ones that could really get going, but you can't lose track of another elite shooter putting up 8 attempts per game. So they have a very guard-centric, perimeter-focused, spread-style offense, and Arkansas is just going to have to be very aware in transition, very aware communicating on screens, both on ball and off ball, because if you start giving up open looks, it's going to be a long night, in my opinion.
What this screams to me is do not have 15 turnovers this game. Hang on to the dang ball. I mean, if all these guys can run in transition, that's what Louisville is. And especially when they run in transition to shoot threes, that's terrifying because we've been killed by threes with just it being the game's equalizer. We're up by 15. Oh, nope, not anymore. Like it's that quick. Yep. That's how it can happen. So hang on to the ball. But our game's fast. You got to move efficiently and outpace them. I feel like a shooter's worst enemy is fatigue. So get them running and get them on their heels. Make it where we score and then they have to walk it up. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. If you put the ball in the basket, they don't get a chance to run and get kind of what they like to do. So being in Bud Walton, I'm hoping that helps a lot. Getting the guys a little bit into rhythm, being able to score a little better. Offense, I feel like is always better at home than on the road. So that's a big plus, not just even the crowd affecting Louisville, but just Arkansas being able to score and limit what Louisville likes to do, getting the turnovers, getting long rebounds, the way that they like to score. But yes, Arkansas, I mean, all season we've I feel like there's been a pattern in several games, especially the mid-major teams that we struggled with. We come out and they like beat us on a couple of backdoor cuts or set a couple of good screens, and then all of a sudden our guys are thinking or they're on their heels a little bit, and then their threes are wide open. I mean, against Winthrop and Southern and these teams that are shooting like 45% in Bud Walton Arena, it feels kind of like that's been the theme. They beat us, and then we're not really guarding the three as hard as we should. But I do think that Arkansas did so very well against Duke. They still hit 8 threes, but shot under 35%. A team that is a very good 3-point shooting team with some of the best shooters in the conference, in their conference and in the country. So that gives me hope that they've woken up a little bit and that they're maybe prepared for a team like Louisville or these other high level teams that they're about to face. But it definitely starts with the perimeter attack defensively for Arkansas and not letting Louisville get out and do what they like to do.
Yeah.
So after this game for Arkansas, we've already kind of talked about Duke and Michigan were both top 7 teams. Those are the only 2 losses so far. You've got Louisville Wednesday night, Texas Tech, and a neutral site game in Dallas on the 13th, and then Houston in a neutral site game on the 20th. That's 5 high-level, top 25 non-conference opponents that Arkansas faces before SEC play starts, where there's already like 6 teams in the top 25 not named Arkansas. How do we feel in these 5 games? They're already 0-2. What record are you not? Obviously, we're hoping at this point that it's 3-2. What record are we comfortable with going into SEC play where Arkansas still set themselves up well to make like a good run, to get a decent seed, have a good season still?
I think in order to get a decent seed, you need 2 wins. It doesn't matter which ones, but I feel like you got to get 2. And just because every team now seems to be playing high level competition. So those top seeds are going to be taken by the ones that are winning these games, right? So we have to lock in and win at least 2 of these.
Agree with the way that you started that as well. To get where we want to be and have like a 5 seed or something or better, I think you need 2. And you're exactly right that everybody's playing higher level of competition in their non-conference. Losses to quadrant 1 opponents are not supposed to hurt you, but if you just have 5 games on your schedule that are just sitting there as like blanks, basically, like they don't hurt you, doesn't help you at all. Like it doesn't help you get in the tournament just because you played them. So I think, realistically, Arkansas could go 0-5 in this stretch and still have plenty of chances in SEC play to get themselves into the tournament. It's not panic time, but it's not where this team should be. We've been talking about how talented they are, how good they are. I think that they got to win 1. I think you need 2 out of these next 3 big high major opponents. And I think Louisville being at home, even though they're the number 6 team, Houston just lost to Tennessee recently. Texas Tech is like down, in the teens or the 20s in the rankings. But Louisville being at home, I think, puts a lot more pressure to win this game out of all of the high majors, to win at home. Like this is the one where you should be able to do it, regardless of what the other team is ranked. We've seen a bunch of good teams walk into Bud Walton Arena and walk out with a loss, especially even in the last 5 years. So there's a little extra weight on this one, I think.
Yeah, and I think if we win this game, it's going to propel us to win. I think we can go three more wins or 3 total wins against these big teams because Louisville's a really good team. They're ranked high, and like you said, Texas Tech is slipping, and we don't know if they're going to stay in the top 25. I know that Louisville is going to be consistent in this, and keeping them within those rankings, it's important to win this game. And especially being at home, it's an opportunity that you have to take advantage of.
Yeah, the confidence and the momentum aspect of it is huge too, because like we talk about, you need at least 1 of these wins or 2 of these wins, whatever. But if it's like the last one, like if we go 0-4 to start these big games, like that starts to get mentally challenging. Like it's detrimental to the guys' focus and stuff. if you start losing all of these big games. So getting this one win under their belt gets the confidence, the momentum, like, okay, we can do this. We let a couple of slip away, Michigan State and Duke, but we can do this. They can beat the other ones also. Like, unfortunately, honestly, the loss to Tennessee for Houston scares me more than if they were undefeated. Because if they're undefeated, at some point they're probably going to be sleepwalking or high on themselves. But they've already had their wake up call, so I don't think that they're going to, underestimate another SEC opponent. But I mean, it's Tennessee still proved that they're beatable. We can still win that game. I'm not discounting it by any means, but honestly, just looking down the road, it kind of sucks that they've already lost to one SEC team because they're coming in punching against Arkansas.
Yeah. Right.
But like we said, if you're able, please, please, please fill up Bud Walton Arena. DM me if you're looking to get rid of tickets or find someone that can take them, buy them, whatever. I will happily help facilitate, get butts and seats at Bud Walton Arena. I'm very excited for this game. Should be a good crowd, a great environment. Probably as close to a must-win game as you can have on the first week of December with so many opportunities still ahead, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see Matt come get to his forehead vein to be popping at another game.
That's what's going to happen. And, if Bud Walton's rocking, it's really going to be throbbing. So if you see me with a borderline stroke, that's because I'm doing good. Yeah.
Keep
mind your business.
I love it. I love it. All right. That is all we have for you guys today. Quick reminder, we are brought to you by the Field of 68 Podcast Network. You can find us on Twitter, on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, share with your friends. We really, really appreciate it. It really helps the show out. I have been your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Matt Jackson. And as always, go Hogs.